What it do, YouTube? OG Mr. Munt coming back at you with another video. This is somewhat of a post fight of last night fights, or at least the pay-per-view version of that. Tank Davis undercard and the main event itself. You had Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade versus Demond Nicholson. Had Rashidi Ellis versus Roman Villa. You had Gervonta Ennis versus, I forget that kid's name. First name Karen though. And in the main event you had Gervonta Tank Davis versus Gervonta Tank Davis versus Hector Garcia in the main event. But Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade started the night off. I was impressed, but I expected that. I expected a one-sided fight. Really thought Boo Boo was gonna get the knockout, but he has a tendency of starting off real fast and then he goes into cruise control. So he wasn't able to get the knockout, but he did knock old boy down twice. Basically a one-sided 10-round fight. Boo Boo didn't really have any problem. He did get hit with a pretty stiff jab that kind of screwed his eye up there for a second, but for the most part, Boo Boo dominated the fight, just as we expected. But what I did see was that Boo Boo, he's gonna have problems with if he were to fight Jamal Charlo, because every time Nicholson threw his jab with any kind of behind it, Boo Boo couldn't get out of the way of it. And we all know Jamal Charlo got one of the stiffest jabs in boxing. So, if we ever get that fight, I just think Boo Boo gonna have problems with Jamal Charlo. But congratulations to Boo Boo Andrade. Yeah, like I said, it was a one-sided beatdown. And just as we expected. But congratulations to Boo Boo. Next fight was Speedy Rashidi Ellis against Roman Villa. First 7 or 8 rounds of that fight, man, Rashidi Ellis, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He has good skills. He has good skill set. Very fast, very good counter puncher. I think Rashidi's a fantastic fighter, but I do think he kind of overdid it, in the first 7 or 8 rounds, and by round 8, 9, he started slowing, which is natural, but you got to prepare yourself for that, to where you can go all 12 rounds, with the same enthusiasm. And the guy after I gave him the first 7 rounds, and then after round 7, the guy started closing the distance, started hitting Rashidi with big shots, and he could take a good shot, but I actually those last 5 rounds was. Some of those rounds was close, and I gave 1 or 2 of those to Rashidi. That's why I had him winning. But the judges saw different. And then in that last round, Rashidi kind of backed out with his guard down, and old boy caught him with a left hook and dropped him. And he really never recovered from that. So the guy was able to drop him again. And according to the judges' scorecards, that basically was the difference. You know, if he hadn't got dropped that second time, it probably would have been a draw. Probably would have been a draw. Yeah, it would have been a draw if he hadn't got dropped that second time. But again, I had him winning. I actually had him win in the fight. I feel bad for Rashidi because, you know, he spent all that time over there at Golden Boy and he couldn't get no fights. Now he comes over here and he takes his first loss, and they're probably gonna, I don't know, it's probably gonna knock him way down on the ladder. Unfortunately, Roman Villa said he would give him a rematch, but yeah, right. But you know, congratulations to Roman Villa. I hate that for Rashid Ellis, but you know, just need to keep his head up and march forward. Next fight, Ennis versus Karen something. I can't pronounce the guy's last name, and I'm not gonna butcher it, so I just call him Karen. Very, very interesting fight, you know, in my opinion. Boots, of course, he comes out guns a-blazing. You know, Boots doesn't really set anything up. And he just comes out there and he, not saying he's out of control or nothing, he just comes out there and he throws his offense at you. But this guy, this Karen guy from the Ukraine, his footwork was awesome. And Boots couldn't corner him. Now, Boots did catch him with some big shots, but the guy took the shots well. So, Boots spent the whole fight trying to walk this guy down. That's one of the holes in Boots' game. He doesn't know how to cut off the ring properly because that guy was able to escape. He was able to escape out of the back door just about every time Boots had him cornered. So, Boots was getting kind of frustrated. You could tell he wanted to knock the guy out, but he went. Now, don't get me wrong. Boots was winning all the rounds, but he couldn't get a bead on Karen. He couldn't get a bead on him at all. You know, he was landing jabs here and there, and he was hitting him with shots, but he couldn't really corner the guy to where he could tee off on him the way he wanted to. And there was a few times that Boots tried to tee off on him, and the guy shot back at him, and hit Boots with some good shots, But Boots won 12-0 as far as rounds go, but he just couldn't hunt the guy down. He couldn't corner him, and he couldn't get him out of there. But he still got the victory. Boots still got a few things he needs to work on. He's still a fantastic fighter. But if he were to fight Bud Crawford Bud Crawford or Earl Spence Jr. right now, he's gonna have some serious issues with Errol Spence Jr. simply because Errol Spence Jr. is gonna put him on defense, which is gonna take away from his offense. Bud Crawford, you just have to be careful with Bud Crawford throwing a bunch of punches at him without, you just have to be careful because he'll set your ass up in a minute. Next thing you know, he done hit you with a big shot, and if he hurt you, he gonna finish you. And Karen hit Boots with a few big shots, but Boots took them well, and the guy took Boots shots well. So it was an interesting fight. Seeing a few things that, like I said, Boots needs to work on, but he has time to work on. He's still young. But anyway, salute to Jerron Boots Ennis for winning the 12-round unanimous decision. Now we got the main event, which was Gervonta Tank Davis versus Hector Luis Garcia. this was a really wasn't really a whole lot going on in this fight. You know, first 4 or 5 rounds wasn't a whole lot going on. The guy, Hector Garcia, he was trying to set Tank up. So Tank could tell he was trying to set him up. And he was being extra careful. But, you know, the fight really didn't get going until maybe round 6, where Tank started closing in and landing some big shots. And by round 8, Tank kind of started teeing off on him. And in round 8, Tank caught him on the side of the head right there. And, you know, thing about it is, Hector Garcia was kind of standing there with his arms down, with his hands down, you know. That's stupid. Tank Davis, you don't stand in front of Tank Davis ever with your hands down. And Tank Davis hit him with it on the side of his head, and he lost vision in one of his eyes. Tank Davis, it's uncanny how this kid generates power. It's, you know, you got guys like Deontay Wilder who just has power, God-given power. You know, he hit you with a throwaway shot from that right hand, and it'll knock your brains out. But Tank Davis actually generates his power. I mean, it's vicious when he hits you with it. He could throw 2 or 3 punches, and all of them have the same heat on them. All of them be missiles. So, you know, this kid, Gervonta Davis is very, very dangerous. He's without a doubt, the hardest puncher, I say, from 140 on down, you know, in my opinion. But, you know, Tank was able to catch him on the side of the head and wobbled him. Then hit him with a couple of more good shots. And then you know, the guy was saved by the bell. He went over to the corner, and they, you know, said he couldn't see out of that eye. And, you know, if he really couldn't see, they actually, you know, they saved him by not sending him back out there, because Tank would have knocked him out cold, probably hurt him bad. Well, yeah, but you know, Tank did get the knockout, got in returned from the corner for the 9th round. So Tank Davis did his thing again. Salute to Tank Davis. He filled that stadium up, man. He had 19,000 people. It would look like it was packed to capacity, from what I could tell. You know, it's one of them times where they scanned the whole arena, so you knew it was a crowded. It was full. I just put it like that. But, you know, again, salute to Gervonta Tank Davis. He talking about fighting Ryan Garcia. And again, you know, I like to reiterate, I ain't a fan of Ryan Garcia. I think, you know, he all fluff. And Tank Davis is going to knock him out when he fight him. Tank is just, you know, Ryan got fast hands, he got some power, but Tank's footwork is too good. Tank reflexes are too good. And if Tank wants to, he could go in there in the first 2 or 3 rounds and knock Ryan Garcia out. All he got to do is back him up, because he can't fight going backwards. You know, and that's just the way I feel about it. I don't think much of Ryan Garcia, but anyway, you know, you guys tell me what you think. Salute to the mighty LDBC. It's your OG, Mr. Mont, and I'm out.